We here to talk some baseball, man, as we are, right in the middle of the baseball season. We're almost at the halfway mark, getting ready to pull up to Seattle next year for the All-Star game, which Dante will be holding it
Yes,
down for
sir.
MLB Bro and Barber's Chat Network. Let's talk about the team that you follow closely outside of our bum-ass team that we will not be discussing on today's episode. That is the Atlanta Braves, man. They're pretty much cruising through the NL East. They got like a NL East 5-game lead, damn near on the Miami Marlins.
Yeah.
Mato Acuna Jr. is killing it. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Tell me, like, what do you think about this year's Brave squad compared to the team that won a championship just 2 years ago?
The thing about this squad is like they've had injuries due to pitching squad to the pitching staff, but their offense has been healthy all year, and you've seen the results. And even with it being healthy, you've seen people who have struggled, but they're still able to put up 6 or 7 runs a game. Like we said on the War Report, it's going to be certain days where it's going to take 7 runs, 8 runs to beat the Atlanta Braves because they can put up 6 on you easy. And so Ronnie Acuna, he's back. He's 2 years removed from an ACL injury, and he once again looks like you said, arguably the best player in the league. He's they say he's on pace for a 30-70 season, which we've never seen. We've
Yeah,
seen
that's crazy.
30-60. We've seen 30-60 twice, but we've never seen 30-70. He's on pace for that. Michael Harris the second, who won Rookie of the Year last year, he struggled a little bit, got a little hurt, but he's coming on lately. Austin Riley's been heating up. So you got a team, saying Matt Olson, like the list goes on, and there's really no holes in this offense. Like I haven't even mentioned Ozzy Albies yet. So like that's 6 off the top of my head, and they shuffle people in. Orlando Arcia, who happens to be leading all NL shortstops in All-Star voting right now. So I mean, you're talking about a team that's loaded, and so they had a game Sunday where one of their pitchers, Spencer Strider, gave up 5 runs, but they put up
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
So it's funny. Everybody thought the Mets were going to be the team that really competed with them,
Man.
but the Mets are 4th in the division right now. They're
Yeah.
really really terrible. The Marlins, the Marlins are one of those teams. They pop up every 5 years. But
The Marlins kind of remind me a little bit, not to the extent of the Angels because they've won more than the Angels, but like they be real 500 for a little bit, but they feel like they're
yeah,
sticking around a little bit longer here. Now, one question with the Braves. Now, you just talking about the pitchers there. Do you think they have the arms to make a deep playoff run? Because we all know in the MLB, what's the old quote? You only as good. The momentum's only as good as your next day starting pitcher. Do you think they
yeah.
have the arms to be able to win the whole thing again?
I think they don't, and I think they'll make a move for another starting pitcher. I think they were expecting Mike Soroka to come back, and with him getting touched up and then getting demoted again, he wasn't ready yet. So I think they'll make a move because you have an amazing offense, and you also have one of the best bullpens in baseball. So with the starting pitching being sketchy, you really just need somebody that can get you through 5 innings, get you through 6 innings. Somebody like that. So I expect them to make a move because right now, if the playoffs started today, I think, like I said, they can score with anybody. But in those games where you need your starting pitcher, to go at least 5, in certain games they're gonna have trouble, especially with Max Fried going to the 60-day IL.
Yeah, yeah, that's a big blow right there. There's been
That's
a lot of
huge.
injuries, huge blow. With the injuries we got, especially like we talking about champions, the defending champion Astros, man, they're going through a slump right now with, just lost Lance McCullers for the rest of the season. Who's my man? My name, I be fucking up the name. What my man? Big dude, the
Is
DH.
it Valdez?
Yeah, Valdez. I'm it's escaping me there. He's out for 4 weeks.
Damn.
So they doing with a lot of injuries out there in the AL West. But let's talk about another AL West team, the Oakland A's. I really
Man.
feel bad for Oakland sports fans. They lost their dynasty team in the Golden State Warriors. Granted, them niggas only moved across the street, but there's a clear difference between San Francisco and Oakland, California.
Yes, if
From
you've been there, you know.
from my Bay Area people, they tell me is a clear difference. So I will take their word for it. Lost the Warriors. Y'all know them losing the Raiders to Vegas, and now they're on the verge of losing their A's to the Vegas. And Vegas is becoming Title Town USA right now. The Aces won last year. Golden Knights just won a few nights ago. Now they're trying to bring the A's here. What do you think about this whole thing? I kind of feel like this is nasty business by the billionaires and the commissioner, but at the same time, I kind of want to know like the fan support. Like we saw the boycott they had this week, the reverse boycott. People actually showed up. What's your whole comment on the whole situation?
I think it's sad, bro. I think it's one of those situations where like we are so caught up in our everyday lives and just going with the motions that it's anytime you say, wait a minute, what this billionaire doing is not right. You get a lot of people who are like, well, it's just the way it goes. It's a part of the game. If you want them to spend money, you got to come to the ballpark. People do this. People try to do the same thing to the White Sox fans.
Yeah,
Like, oh, why y'all don't show up? Why y'all think Jerry don't spend money? But like,
because y'all
we're at a
niggas is
point now.
trash.
Yeah, not only that, but it's not only that. It's that we're at a point now where fans should be smart enough to recognize when you have an owner who's just in it for the business side. Like they
Yeah,
don't really care about it. And the age is really because like even finally funny, we were just talking about the Braves. Two of the best players on the Braves used to play for Oakland.
yep,
Like they always have talent. Like it's
yep,
never a matter of talent with the Oakland A's. They always find good players. Their scouting staff is one of the best in the league, but they never sign anybody.
yeah.
Nobody makes it to arbitration.
This goes
Everybody
back
gets
to the
traded.
Moneyball days.
Yeah, like this is a 20-year thing with this organization.
Yeah,
They've literally stripped their team down year after year after year, and then they get mad when the fans don't want to come to the stadium. And also, as somebody who's been to the Coliseum, it's a piece of shit. Like that is hands down the
yeah. I
worst
heard it
stadium.
was god awful. Yeah,
Like it is worse than the LA Coliseum, and that's a piece of shit. So
L.A.
like
Coliseum, one of the worst stadiums I've ever been to in my life.
one way in, one way out, boy. You get
Yeah,
lost. You get stuck in that tunnel. It's a problem. But either way, that's one of, like I said, the worst stadium I've ever been to, and people actually had a nerve to be like, "Well, man, why didn't y'all come support?"
we don't want
And
to
it's like,
support when there's shit falling from the fucking walls.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's sad because and unlike the White Sox, the Oakland A's are a team that have a lot of history. You talking about
Yep,
they won several World Series. So Reggie Jackson, Raleigh Fingers, it's
several
Ricky
playoff
Henderson.
appearances. Yeah,
Yeah, Ricky Henderson. It's so many players that have played for that organization, that are Hall of Famers. And to try to rip that team from the city, it's kind of like the Supersonics. It's like if you leave, you got to leave the name in Oakland. You can't be the
yep.
Las Vegas A's. Like it's
Nah, you
no,
can't.
no, that's trash. Like
Yeah,
Bryce Harper came out and said that he was like, if they do go to Las Vegas, you got to rebrand. You can't just rip that team from Oakland
can't
with
rip
all of
that
the
culture,
history.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even though they've moved before, but still, the Oakland Athletics, everything they've accomplished in Oakland and what they meant to that community, you can't do that. That shit is foul. Like overall, that's how I feel about it. It's foul because like a lot of people have said, they've already called the play out. He's pretty much got the stadium. They're gonna move. He's gonna put up a share, an ownership stake in the A's. So he's gonna make probably a couple, maybe $1 billion,
couple B's. Yeah,
1.2. Throw that in his pocket, and then
yeah.
he might field a competitive ball club. But other than that, he's about to take this public money, which what a lot of people don't realize. This is just to anybody who hasn't been paying attention to show you how crazy the play was. What he asked the city of Oakland for was 55 acres, residential space, commercial space, hotels, and whatever mixed use development that he can make money off of. What he settled for in Vegas was 9 acres leased that the casino owns.
Yeah,
So,
nasty work.
so pretty much everything and the people, the mayor of Oakland came out and said it. He said, had he asked Oakland for that, the ballpark would have already been built.
Right.
Like, had he just said, "Hey, just give us the ballpark," that wasn't an issue. So it just shows you this was a power play by a billionaire. He held the asset. He's gonna move it to Vegas, which is a much smaller market, and he's gonna probably sell half of the team, if not all of the team, and make a couple B's, like you said.
To
And
me,
nothing we can do about it.
this whole little I think with people, if you don't pay attention to the way the conversation is when it comes to these more up-to-date stadiums, not just in baseball but in all the sports. I mean, if you look at the
Yeah,
whole Bears situation, the whole
yeah,
hold up with Arlington is they're trying to figure out who the fuck gonna pay this, and it's a whole bunch of billionaires who don't want to pay the five. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And
yeah.
that's like the whole thing with it.
I'm gonna say, yeah, conservative hates handouts until it's time for them to get one. Like until it's time
Exactly.
for a corporate bailout, or we got to build this stadium. We need 500 million tax dollars that we not gonna pay back. So it's crazy, like and I think with Vegas, it's another example that as gambling explodes all over the country, further proof that shit is not the cash cow that people sell it to be. you
Yeah.
know, because Las Vegas, they're, you know, the county that Las Vegas County that just approved the stadium, they're operating from a deficit.
Yep.
So like
Exactly.
you can't afford schools. You got all these casinos, hotels, all of that, and you talking about all
They
this
had to do
tax
two
money.
votes just to get it approved. They
So it's
had to
like,
get two
come on,
votes.
it's like, what are we doing? So yeah, man, it's nasty work. But I mean, it's kind of like with the whole live PGA thing. Big banks take a little bank every time. So like,
Every damn time. Like
no
it's
matter
not gonna
what, no
shock
matter,
me.
yeah,
Like there's a lot of things doing Vegas. A lot of
yeah,
things doing Vegas. I'm not trying to sit like Vegas during the summer is like disrespectful. I don't know if everybody who watched the show ain't never been to Vegas. It's
yeah,
like you need to drink like 8 bottles of water type
yeah.
heat. And
It might
last
as
thing
well
you
be.
want to do is sit in a fucking hot ass arena, a state ballpark to watch mediocre baseball.
First of all, having that the idea of it being, you know, retractable roof is ridiculous. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
dome. It'll never be open, just because of when you play
it needs to
baseball.
be. Yeah.
You're right. It'll be extremely fucking hot in that stadium, so you will not get any, any outdoor games in Vegas. It would be ridiculous. First of all, like that's just silly. But
I have
yeah, G,
not
it ain't
been
gonna happen.
to I have not been to where the Golden Knights or where the Sky player, but Allegiant Stadium is really nice. Allegiant Stadium is really nice. I thought it was the best field I've seen until I went to fucking SoFi, and I was like, oh, this is like the greatest
Yeah.
shit of all time.
I mean, the new stadiums, they really do it up, G. Like
Yeah, they
they
do.
really they do their thing. So like, you know,
Yeah,
and you know, hopefully, well, I mean, the Bears are gonna get their new stadium. It's just a matter of
just a
when.
matter of when and
Yeah.
where. I don't care where it's
Mm,
at, just as long as I ain't got to deal with Soldier Field and they terrible concessions ever the fuck again. Uh,
yeah.
And one last thing, if we move on to the next thing, Rob Manfred had a very spicy comment. Your boy, Rob Manfred, he said, "Oh, it was nice to see a less than average crowd talking about the boycott they had the other night. Basically saying, tough nigga, tough break, nigga.
Yeah.
You can go back to football."
I mean, he don't care.
He
He has,
don't.
yeah, he has no regard for this team, and it's messed up, but it is what it is. But
Yeah.
like I said, bro, they've been pretty much sold out from the jump. There was never any hope for them to try to keep this team. Like we know, we talked. People have talked about how they blocked the San Francisco Giants from moving and made the guy sell to a local person, but that ain't gonna happen here. You know,
Nope.
Vegas is the future. You would think they would just expand in Vegas. That would make more sense. Just get an expansion team out there, but nah, they're gonna take this team from
Start a whole new thing. I mean, they just saw it with
this,
the Golden Knights. Look how quickly they built that fan base
bro.
up in 6 years.
Yeah. The Knights, the Aces. People disrespect the Aces, but they won a championship last year. So you know, was it
And
last
the
year or two
Aces,
years ago?
I don't know much WNBA, but I know the Aces
Yeah.
got a loaded basketball team. I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that goddamn much.
yeah. People were talking about them running the table this year. You feel
Yeah,
me? Like it's that type of vibe. So you seen pro sports work there. It's only a matter of time before they get an NBA team. Like, you
yep.
know, like it's all
Oh,
coming
we know
down.
Mr. Bronny. That's gonna be in his retirement package.
Yeah, oh
When he
yeah,
gets the Vegas
100%.
team, that's gonna
And
be
you
there.
know,
But
yeah. No, go ahead.
let's move on to the another West team. This is an NL West team. Talking about up and coming, man. The Arizona Diamondbacks, man. Shout out our homie Mikey, man. This has been like his league pass team. The Diamondbacks are 41-28. Got 3-game lead in the loss column over the Los Angeles Dodgers. What do you think about the Diamondbacks? You think this is just like a nice story, or you think they can really like win this division?
I don't know about winning the division just because not only are the Dodgers loaded, we know the Dodgers will make any move they need to make to
Oh,
try
for
to
sure.
win. You feel me? Like they're gonna go get who they gotta get. And you know, Corbin Carroll has been amazing. It's a lot of one of those feel good story teams, but like usually those teams lose. Like in
Yeah, right.
baseball, no that ain't the
Yeah.
team you see in
Baseball doesn't
October.
really get played till like Labor Day weekend.
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
that's when it gets real.
So I mean, like I said, it's a great story. They got some really good guys on the squad, but no, I'm you know, they DFA'd your boy Madison Bumgarner, Mad Bum.
Oh
He's
yeah, yeah.
somewhere.
Don't tease Jerry Rice though. We'll pick him up at the
He's
deadline
he probably would. So he's somewhere riding horses right now.
and act like
But
he 2010 Mad Bum.
I don't expect him to win a division. I still think the Dodgers will eventually just, you know, overpower them.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Dodgers is the Dodgers division to win. They're only a couple behind. I don't believe in the Giants and the fucking Padres. I don't know. It actually leads to the last
That's
thing.
crazy.
The last thing I want to talk to you about. Who is the most disappointed team in baseball? And why is it the San Diego Padres?
And I say it's the Padres only because you said earlier we're not talking about the White Sox. So
Yeah.
naturally, it would be my
Are
my
they
natural.
actually the most disappointing team, though?
Yeah, no, well, no, because we knew they were gonna be bad. So I can't say
Right,
that.
that's
You're
what I'm
right.
saying. Yeah.
It's definitely San Diego with the amount of money they invested in that ball club, and that we always do this. The super teams rarely pan out when you go like OD. Like as much as we hate on LeBron, those three dudes fit together.
Yep.
That system. Fit. When you just try to plug a whole bunch of stars, a whole bunch of personalities on a ball club, you legit. It's insane. You've seen two of the best hitters in the game, and Manny Machado and Juan Soto look terrible, and it's like it's like wow, it's really shocking to see, Jay. Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie to you, when they came, and it was funny because at the beginning of the season when they came to Atlanta, they took I think they took 2 out of 3 and they might have swept
Yeah,
the
I think they took
Braves,
2 out of 3.
but they
Yeah.
smacked them, G. So I'm saying
Yeah.
like, this team is going to be solid all season, and they just fell off a cliff, and they never recovered.
Yeah, I think if you're a cheap ass owner like Jerry Reinsdorf, I'm gonna keep going back to that. He's probably looking at the Padres and the Mets like, see
Yeah,
what
we
I
like
tell
this.
y'all.
I told y'all.
What I tell y'all, these motherfuckers spent all this money and got the
Yeah,
same record as us.
yeah,
What I tell y'all. So, but I'm with you. I think it's the Padres. Like, yeah, the Mets are disappointing, but we all know that their fucking starting lineup is held together by string. With all the injuries that they have. But it has to be the Padres. Like, they've got a lineup with Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Juan Soto. I know I'm missing some other niggas here. Like, it's
well,
a
we missing like
ridiculous.
2 people. We
Yeah,
missing
we missing like two
Xander
people.
Bogarts.
Xander fucking Bogarts. They got a stacked lineup, and they out here 8 games out of fucking 5 out of the number first place in the West. They like 5 back in the wild card. Like it's just terrible. Now I do think they'll find a way to get the wild card, and in baseball and football are kind of the same. Just get in the tournament. You know what I'm saying? And the prime example was nobody had the Philadelphia Phillies in the World Series last year. There wasn't a soul that had the Phillies in the World Series last year. So I feel like they can just get in. They get it. They got a shot. But it's definitely wildly disappointing. We thought they were going to do what the Dodgers did last year, where they were just going to run and just dominate the entire league.